I'm Rahul Bam and welcome to Bam Bam Bikes again. If you do touring and you're using a tube setup in your wheels, you have to watch this video. I'm going to talk about Outex. I'm going to talk about the installation of Outex. I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you the plus and minus of Outex over other systems. I'm going to tell you how much time it takes to do an installation, how to do a good installation, how much it costs, a lot of such things. So stay tuned. I have a lot of experience with Outex. I've been doing Outex for almost 10 years with hardly, I don't think there have been any failures up to now for the Outex that I've done. So the process, I've got it pretty much down pat. If you follow this process, you won't have a failed Outex. So I've shot a whole installation video for you. It's on the Africa Twin, a 2019. I've installed Outex on that bike. Now, the Africa Twin, a lot of riders that I know ride alone for thousands of kilometers. And getting a puncture on a tube tire is extremely hectic. So you'd rather have an Outex, I think. It's very advantageous having an Outex in these situations. Let's proceed to the installation video. So this is how we do Outex. Obviously, at first, we need to find something to mount the wheels on. I have made myself a makeshift mount with a paddock stand. I have my trusty assistant here who's helping me today. His name is Tickles. So first we take a lot of sandpaper. I use 200, 400 and 800 grit to sand out the channel that I'm going to paste on. There's a lot of dirt there sometimes, there's unevenness, there's rust, and we need to get it all off because it will promote the adhesiveness of the Outex. For every round that we sand, we also need to blow off all the dirt that we create so that it doesn't go and sit in the holes of the nipples. Pay special attention to the nipple holes because a lot of dirt and rust sits over there, which will later get stuck on your Outex. I use isopropyl alcohol to clean the rims. It's good because it's a multi-purpose cleaner. I use it everywhere, including the Outex. It cleans really well. So we clean and spray a little bit and wipe it off. For wiping, t-shirt cloth works the best. Tear some t-shirts and wipe. Make sure they're clean. Blow them off again, dry them off. Then we go on to heating. I use a heat gun to heat the rims up a little because a warm rim promotes the adhesion. The stickiness is better if the rim is warm. Yeah, so we begin with the first tape, the small dots that are given to cover the nipple ends. This actually is the strong point of Outex. Once you paste these nipple holes, you'll be able to tighten the spokes even after the Outex installation. The Outex installation will not get spoiled even if you tighten the holes with Outex on it. So the Outex kit costs around, last I checked, the last Outex kit I got was around 18,000 rupees. Installation costs about 5,000-6,000 rupees depending on which bike. Outex is durable. I have been doing Outex since 2017 and there are no reported failures. People have used them for years and years. The claimed life of Outex is 2 years according to the company, but the ones I have done have easily lasted for 5 years. So that's durability. In between, if you need to tighten the spokes, you still can do that because Outex provides a solution for that. There are those small little tiny bits that you stick, which will turn with the spoke nipple. If you need a patch, a lot of times puncture fellows, they don't know about Outex, so they'll just shove a screwdriver there and it'll like just pull out the Outex somewhere. So when that happens, you get repair kits. You can just cut out that portion, stick a new Outex there and seal it again, and your Outex will be fine again. There are a few good things about Outex. There are a few systems on the market, but I feel that Outex is a tried and tested solution. Here you can see the first clear tape that I'm applying. So this is a thick sticky tape. Make sure to get it in one go, because once it sticks, there is no way it's coming off. The point is to stick it without getting any air bubbles. The most dangerous air bubbles, sometimes air bubbles come, but you need to press the air out later through the sides or through the spoke nipples. The air bubble should never connect the nipple to the edge of the tape. If that happens, your Outex is going to fail. So we go one whole round. The rear rim is really easy because it's pretty thick. So you don't really have to put in much effort. We go the whole round. We cut it off exactly at the spot where we started. And then I use a flattened axle to press out all the holes. This is a bit tedious and it will make your fingers hurt after some time. But yeah, that's the job. So I'm just going to forward through this. It's more of the same. You press out all the air bubbles, all the air that you think is lurking here and there, and make sure that there are no large air pockets. Yeah, when you're satisfied with that, when you go one whole round, then you can go to the next step. I'm sure I'm going to catch some flack for not using gloves, but I stopped using gloves after the first Outex that I've done. I have been doing Outex for 10 years. And after the first one, I stopped using the gloves that they provide, because the gloves tend to pick up all the dirt everywhere that is around, and that in turn goes from the gloves directly to the Outex. So I find it to be counterproductive. Yeah, so now after I have gone one whole round of the clear tape, I cut a hole where the valve fits, and then I proceed to the white tape, which is the sealing tape. You have to remove the adhesive cover of the clear tape and paste the white tape right over it, and it forms a protective layer. We do not overlap the joint of the clear tape and the white tape. We start from some other point. Yeah, so here I have gone a whole round and I've come back to the valve. You start with the valve in the white tape, so you get your measurements proper. And when you go one whole round, you press the white tape in and cut it off at the joint. Now again you have to go over the whole round and press out all the air. Yeah, it looks simple, but your fingers will hurt. If your fingers don't hurt, you didn't do it properly. Now let's go to the thinner rim, which is the front one, which is the more tricky of the two, because you will have to maintain a straight line with the tape. Outex actually gives you a thin tape which they expect you to paste on the sides to get your bearings. But I have stopped using this because I already have my bearings. You should use it though if you are just doing it for your own bike. So we go through the whole process of heating the rim before we start pasting anything on it. You will feel the rim getting hot. I think it's the rainy season and the temperature is a bit low, so I heated the rim up a bit more so it will cool as I am pasting the Outex on it. So here we go, we are covering the spoke nipples now. Pay attention to the spoke nipples because sometimes they tend to fall off. So by the time you get around the whole rim and do one round, the ones you have put first will drop off. So just check whether they have dropped off, and if they have dropped off, apply a new one there. So because Outex is such a labor and attention intensive thing, I close my garage doors and sit alone. You may hear the voices outside. So that is all, those are all my friends talking shit like they do the whole day. So I'm completely ignoring them and doing my work. You should do that also. Yeah, so I am almost done with one whole round. I have come to the valve hole again. Touring in India is a lot of fun, but it sometimes is a hassle. When you have a big bike, and something happens to it, you don't get people on the roadside to work on it. Even a puncture, as soon as they see that you have a rare disc, they'll say, boss, I can't do this because it's very tricky and they're just not experienced enough. So if you have a tube type tire, that's it. Either you have to learn to remove your tube yourself or you will have to supervise him while he does it. You'll have to first sweet talk him into doing it. They don't even have the right tools to do it, like the right size spanners, etc., etc. You'll probably have to cajole someone if you have a tube type tire. So that's why Outex makes sense. If you have an Outex, you just remove your puncture like any other tubeless wheel, tubeless tire. Just use a puncture kit, one of those rubber things, and you remove your puncture. That's it. You just need to carry a spare. You just need to carry an inflator and a tubeless puncture kit. That's just what you need to carry, and you're set. I would advise for those who do long touring, to carry spare tubes, because the only danger with Outex is if you bend your rim. We have great roads, right, in India, plus we have off-roads, we have stones, we have a lot of, it's an obstacle course sometimes. So you might end up bending your rim. I have bent my rim 3 times while touring. So if you bend your rim, it's going to leak air and there is no choice but to put a tube in your wheel. There's no choice. You can't repair that on the roadside, and repairing a rim takes a little bit of expertise. So to maintain the seal after repairing a rim is a bit tough. So please carry spare tubes when you go long touring. Before doing an Outex, make sure your rims do not have dings and bends, because a rim with dings and bends will probably leak from the side wall, not from the Outex. It will leak from the side wall because the bead where the tire seals may be bent. Sometimes it may be cracked also if there's a bend there, and those rims will leak. Yeah, so here I start with the clear tape, and you can see how thin the channel for the spoke is. Okay, so you, for the front rim, you need to be really doubly careful than the rear rim. The rear rim you can afford to be a bit careless, but the front rim you can't be careless at all, because if you are careless you will fail. Yeah, so you basically need to make sure that the edge of the tape and the nipple, there is no air between both those points. So you press the sides and remove the air through the nipple or through the side of the tape. You make sure there is no air connecting the nipple to the side of the tape, because if there is air, it is going to escape from there. Yeah, so that you can see me doing that. Yeah, and your thumb should hurt after this. Another thing about gloves is, like, you don't really get a feel of what you're doing. Like it's like wearing a condom. It's no fun. Yeah, then you press the air out with this tool. You can make one easily. You can just go and get some axle of some small bike, yeah, and press out the bubbles, either, like I said, from the spoke nipple or from the side. Mind you, you need to have, it is recommended that you buy new tires when you do an Outex, because Outex, the rims that normally we use for Outex are not tubeless rims, so the bead may differ a little bit from tubeless rims. And if you're using old tires may be deformed from use and from temperature and all that. So it is always recommended that there are new tires when you're doing Outex. So you install new tires after you do an Outex. Yeah, there I've come back to the valve hole and I just punched the hole with a blade, and now I put in the white tape with the valve just to locate it properly, and I'm pasting the sealing tape over it slowly. So you don't need to remove the whole backing of the clear tape. You remove as you go, little by little you remove it and you paste the white tape on it. As you can see, I'm doing it little by little. Less opportunity for dust and whatnot to settle on the clear tape. Yeah, when you go around it first, you try to make sure to get all the air out from the sides, but when you come back again with your tool or with your thumb, that's the time you finally do as good a job as you can of getting the air out when you do it again. But in the beginning, you make sure you don't leave large bubbles. Number one, you don't leave large bubbles. Number two, you get the bead straight. You get the tape straight in the channel. It will, if you are not paying attention, it will sort of try to cross its way out. Yeah, and you need to slowly correct its course. If you suddenly correct its course, you will get wrinkles, and those wrinkles have air and it will leak from there. Yeah, so I'm tightening the valves with a 12 mm hex wrench. You don't need to go crazy, you just need to tighten it until you see the rubber o-ring deform a little bit. That means it's pressing into the Outex and forming a seal. Yeah, so there you have both the valves in. So when you're done with all this, you will find that the white tape has a border where the two ends of the white tape meet. You'll see a line. You need to now cover this in the same process as you covered the rest of the rim. So first we cut out a square of appropriate size and we just stick it across the joint. Again we do the same thing, we press the air out, all that, and then we cut. Yeah, we press out all the air, do it with the cloth, do it nicely. Because that joint is important. You need to cover up all joints of Outex. So after the clear tape is installed, we remove the backing and we install exactly the same size of white tape over it. So once again we just do the same thing that we've been doing since just now. Outex actually gives you a small round sticker, Outex sticker, to paste inside here. Yeah, but surprise, surprise, I have never done it. And there you are done. That's your Outex. This shit won't leak. Now I can let my friends come and bug me because my focus time is done. I'll do the same thing on the other rim. Yeah, first we cover the joint with clear tape, one square, press the air out. Yeah, once we're done with that, we just remove the backing tape, and I have already cut the white tape of same size, and we just paste the white tape over it. Remember that if your white tape is has come out of the clear tape, you just trim off the edges. It doesn't make much of a difference, but yeah, for the sake of neatness, you can do that. Outex is supposed to last for 2 years according to the company, but I have done Outexes that have lasted for 7 years without any failures. The good thing about Outex is you can just replace the part that leaks. So if there's ever a leak, you can just cut out a square from there and use this same process to repair the middle of it. Yeah, so here you see me being really neat and tidy and cutting off, trimming the edges. Yeah, now you just need to be careful while fitting the tires. You need to inform the tire guy to not poke his screwdrivers and stuff there and spoil your Outex. So it always helps to be present when they're fitting the tires. On some tube rims, the spokes will protrude a little bit. Yeah. So even Outex says in their instructions that you may have to grind down the spoke nipples a little bit. So grinding down, you can use a normal angle grinder and grind down the spoke nipple so that it is on the same plane as your rim and as close to your rim as possible. Don't grind the whole thing off, but you need to get it as close to the rim surface as possible so that the Outex will sit on it and seal it. Yeah, you may be required to do that. Not all the rims require, but some do require, which has spokes poking out at angles to the rim. Lastly, if you want to do an Outex, you can always come to me. At Bam Bam Bikes, I'll make sure you get a good Outex and your Outex lasts. You have to take a lot of care while doing it, which I do.